London Student. London Student is a student paper, originally the official student newspaper of the University of London Union. It began publishing in 1979 and was at one point the largest student-run newspaper in Europe, representing over 120,000 students. The paper stopped publishing in 2014 after the University of London withdrew funding, but relaunched itself online the following year under a new editorial team. It is now an independent publication with ultimate control over content and appointments vested in the editorial team as a worker cooperative. Until its closure in 2014, London Student distributed 12,500 copies fortnightly during term time throughout the university year, equating to approximately 12 issues annually. This once made it the largest student newspaper in Europe. A campaign to save it was led by the paper's last editor, Oscar Webb, including an open to the University of London signed by journalists Amol Rajan. It was relaunched as a cooperative not affiliated. The most recent print edition was a single issue published on October 2015. Following its relaunch, London Student won Best Newcomer at the 2016 Student Publication Association (SPA) Awards. London Student won Best Website at the 2017 SPA Awards and was highly commended for best use of digital media. Notable stories. In March 2006, the newspaper broke the story that the Mail on Sunday newspaper had offered student reporters money to infiltrate and record meetings of student Islamic societies in the wake of the London bombings of 7 July 2005. The report, headlined "Nailed on Sunday," created some international media coverage, although the response in the UK was more muted. The Mail on Sunday responded by saying that they were investigating a subject of great public interest and had acted responsibly, but did not deny the allegations. Also in spring 2006, London Student was one of few in the country to take a strong supportive stance of lecturers concerning the Association of University Teachers (AUT) and National Association of Teachers in Further and Higher Education (NAT). Now the University and College Union (UCU) joint strike action as they fought for better pay and conditions. The story led the paper from Christmas onwards, with the exception of the issue containing "Nailed on Sunday." In October 2013, the paper broke the story that departing University College London UCL Provost Malcolm Grant's leaving party cost the college over £17,000. The story was later picked up by local and national newspapers. In January 2018, London Student exposed the existence at UCL of secret conferences on eugenics and intelligence with speakers including white supremacists. The story was picked up by the national papers, many crediting London Student in their reports. Design. For many years, the newspaper was a red-top tabloid. This changed when Patrick Ward was editor, with a transition toward a mid-market newspaper that better matched a more serious journalistic style of the paper's contributors. The cultural pullout section also returned under the new name of Play. In 2012, the newspaper had to cut back due to funding difficulties with ULU, meaning the paper was condensed, with many sections shortened, although none were removed. Culture section. Play was the London Students' culture pullout section, replaced by The Smoke in 2013 and Skr in 2015. It had various pages devoted to certain cultural coverage, including music, arts, food, theater, and fashion, as well as often multidisciplinary features. Each section often gained access to national press events, previews, and interviews with significant artists or people prominent within each cultural discipline: Roots Manuva, Park Chan-wook, Ian Rankin, British Sea Power, Doug Stanhope, Ruby Tando, Michael Horowitz of Montreal. The Coen brothers and They Might Be Giants were featured. Past editors of the sections have included Renee Mainjishi, Emma Hope Allwood, Brian E. Bowie, Jake Pace-Laurie, Robert Kiley, Kate Vine, Rena Bosnia, Peter Jung, Jack Kirby, and Matt Williamson. After the proposed closure of the University of London Union in the 2014-15 academic year, The Smoke became the final edition of London Student's cultural supplement. Sker replaced it in 2015/16 under the editorship of then London Student co-editors D. G. Ginevsai, Ben Jackson, Ed Ive, James Smith, and Donato Paolo Mancini. Competition. College magazines, such as University College London's Pi, King's College London's Roar, and Queen Mary University of London's Cub, generally offer a different style of coverage to London Student. There is genuine competition in terms of breaking news from 5 college newspapers: Felix at Imperial College London, The Beaver at the London School of Economics. Editions of the commercial The Sanctuary newspaper added marginally to competition at University College London and the London School of Economics during the academic year 2007-8. Senate. Senate was the direct predecessor of London Student. It was published from 1954. Its first 3 editors were Fred Allgood, Dinesh Kale, and Peter Stamford. In 1959 the editor was Jean Rook, later best known for her long association with the Daily Express, where she was nicknamed the First Lady of Fleet Street. Extensive, though incomplete, archives of both newspapers are held at both the University of London's library and the British Library newspaper section in Colindale.